Hey everybody, it's Tyler with Whole Property Management Denver, and today I want to talk to you about something that you've probably been seeing a lot of if you're looking at rentals on the market or comparable rentals because you have a property you're trying to lease out. I want to talk about concessions, particularly in Denver. So we're talking about free rent mostly, but also reduced deposits, these move-in specials, all of it. You've been watching those listings, you've seen it everywhere. It's not a feeling. A March 2026 report stated that was in the Colorado Sun said that 68% of Denver rentals were offering a concession, which is by far the highest rate in the country. So, one thing I want to point out is that it's hitting different property types differently. So, a lot of the headlines are being driven by apartments in these large multifamily communities. So, mostly one and two bedroom units, not necessarily your typical single family home rental or townhome. So, this is really a supply issue. Denver has a ton of apartment inventory. We've been kind of building as fast as possible since 2013 when the Great Recession was over and marijuana was legalized. And we had just huge net migration to Denver. And these corporations could not build apartments fast enough. COVID gave us another bump. And essentially, we're looking at just something between 18 and 20,000 new apartment units being offloaded onto the market every one of those years. So we've got extremely high inventory there. Definitely better for the owner of a single family home or a townhome. If you look at the amount of inventory for your one beds, two beds versus your threes and fours, way lower for those threes and fours, which are almost exclusively single family homes and townhomes. So if you got this property that's three or four bed, it's got a garage, a little bit of yard space, you're probably actually doing pretty well, and you might get away with not doing any kind of concession at all. So a lot of renters, they are looking for that house. They've got a pet or kids, so the apartment's just not attractive to them. So, if somebody advertises a unit at one price, but they have to give it away, a free month to get it leased, the effective rent is lower, but it's a question of, well, which route is more effective, lowering the base rent or giving the concession? And really, you need to do both because a concession is different than the monthly rent because that is the equivalent of that renter getting a big amount of money back in their pocket all at once right up front, which is a very expensive time when they're moving. So I would encourage you to accept the fact that in Denver right now, you have to do concessions if you've got a one or a two bedroom property. May not have to, definitely wouldn't need to start with that as the owner of a three or a four bedroom, but keep your mind open to it because of how attractive that is to a potential renter. So a renter who might really want a two or three bedroom townhome, but they can live for 2 or 2.5 months free in a brand new luxury apartment with amenities like pool, hot tub, gym, yoga studio. That's going to be kind of a tough call for them right there, even though you've got some differentiators with the yard, the garage, and stuff like that. So you need to do both, be at a reasonable rate. But then when you're not seeing that rate do anything, add a concession and kind of go back and forth between increasing your concession and decreasing your base rent. Now, this is not all, doom and gloom. The invisible hand of the market is going to fix this. So what we're waiting on is for supply and demand to balance. And that is going to happen because builders are not incentivized to build these one and two bedroom apartment and condo units right now because they're taking big hits on them. So as we see construction slow drastically, the inventory will be absorbed, supply and demand will even out. That's when we're going to see those prices and rent prices start to increase nicely. My estimate that's going to take 2 to 3 years before we see a real appreciable difference. If you have questions about your rental property or what's going on in the Denver rental market, just give us a call here at 720-737-1373.